Hi, welcome to A Week in Walford, the EastEnders review show presented by two people who don't think that Stacey Fowler is responsible for the collapse of Western civilization. I'm David Brown.
And I'm Johnathon Hughes.
This week's headlines: Max's big meltdown.
What next for Wilmot Brown?
And Mick turns criminal. Okay, well, I really thought that EastEnders got its style back this week, big time, with the Max Branning meltdown episode, scripted by Simon Ashdown, who was responsible for being part of the creation of the Brannings in the first place.
Yeah.
Did you think it was a bit of a return to form as well?
Definitely, and I think you could tell that the writer had really paid attention to that decade, that rich history. It was really interesting, and I think that yeah, it felt really confident, didn't it? And it also felt like it was addressing some of the, perhaps, I won't say plot holes, but some of the issues around, Max's revenge plan and all of that had sort of been forgotten about, because everyone did let him just go to prison for something he didn't do, and that should be addressed, and it has been very well. And
what they didn't address, they kind of styled out, I thought, the fact that Jack, he shouldn't really kind of have a vendetta against Jack because Scott Maslin wasn't in the show at the time. Yes. And, the beef shouldn't really be in his direction.
Not really. I felt a bit bad for Jack because he didn't really get to do a whole lot in that scene.
No.
He wasn't shouting as much as everybody else, and everybody else was shouting a lot.
Really they shouted a lot.
A lot of shouting.
But they brazened it out, and I thought, just take ownership of that and just move on, and I thought that it did that big time.
Yeah, and poor Max has been kind of ousted by the Wayland group now, hasn't he?
But I was so mad, Max. He had spit on his face for about 10 minutes. I thought, he didn't even wipe it off.
Someone wiped that spit off that man's mouth.
Jake Wood was tour de force. I thought he was terrific.
Amazing, but I was slightly kind of concerned at the, what's the HR policy at Wayland & Co, do we think? Where was his exit interview with a member of the HR team? Where was his P45?
No development points in his appraisal.
No, I think, last year's appraisal, this time next year, your contract will be on a fire and you'll be a complete mess. Let's aim for that. Yeah, so I would seriously question Wayland's HR policy, frankly.
And they were a little bit choosy in what they decided to bring up from the Branning past.
Yes, that's true.
A lot of focus on Bradley, because everyone remembers Bradley very fondly.
Yes, and we had that picture of Crush, that was all very sad, but no one really mentioned Kirsty Branning. Remember her? I don't think anyone remembers. No one mentioned Bubbly in the Fridge with Vanessa Gold. Oh, yeah, no one mentioned Max being buried alive by Tanya and Sean Slater. Yeah,
they mentioned him being locked in the cellar, but no mention of that Easter special he was under mud for
He was fine about that. He's fine about that. Yeah.
And poor Carmel was kind of caught up in all this. We love Carmel because we think she's the best matriarch really on the show.
Yeah, she's fantastic, and she got her real Bet Lynch moment where she, wobbly hand, putting the lippy on. Come on, girl, sort yourself out. Head up, head held high. That was really great. I think so. Poor old Carmel, but Max has given her, he gave her that great scene, which I really enjoyed.
So she was in fishnets and a bath last week, and now she was in
skanky old hoodie.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bonnie. This week you're in your sweats and no makeup. Is that all right?
What a difference a week makes. And of course, a difference a week makes for the Wayland Company as well, who've been kind of driving the storylines the last couple of months, and they've now become almost a bit of a sideshow because the Max Revenge storyline is the focus of that, and they're just the MacGuffin, really, aren't they? I think Wayland.
All of a sudden, I don't know if we're really interested in them anymore, which is a shame. They have kind of tried to invest a lot in the characters of Fee and Josh and Luke. I mean, Luke, I feel like we're never going to see Luke again.
Exit stage left in the back of that van, I think, that's it.
Screech, bye! Yeah, he's gone to be beaten up or killed. We may never know what happens to him. Josh is just a worse, sorry.
Shaky hand,
wobbly Josh. Yeah. I mean, sort it out, son. And I think Fee's having a bit of a wobble as well. So it's Uncle Hugo, though. Where's he? Is he going to come back? I don't know.
But the thing is that with this storyline, they've now kind of have a built-in best before date because they've introduced the fact that Wilmot Brown is dying.
Yes.
So
it's this terminal illness. Does that mean he will just kind of cark it and that'll be that?
Well, it gives it the possibility of them pressing the reset button because Wilmot Brown could die if Luke's off the scene, if Fee has a crisis of conscience and Josh is siding with Lauren, then they have the power to kind of put a halt to the whole reconstruction of the square and these luxury flats.
That will never happen.
I think that by next year it probably won't be happening.
And maybe someone will buy Wayland and the office in the sky with the clouds outside and the sunshine.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be acquired by some other developer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Of much more interest, I think, though, is is the Aidan Maguire character.
I love Aidan Maguire. Love him.
Very, very loud walking stick. Tap, tap, tap. Love that. Love that.
You can hear it anywhere in the square.
Yeah.
Anywhere you
Aidan's
go.
coming.
On the tube.
Yeah.
You can hear it. Yeah.
And that scene where we saw Aidan and Mick kind of squaring off with the knife. One of the highlights of the week. It's like Aliens.
It was very much, really reminded me of that scene in Aliens.
Yeah.
Very good. I thought that was really interesting. What I really like about this is that Mick Carter, turning criminal, finally gets to make Danny Dyer a bit of a gangster in EastEnders, which we've all been waiting for the last 4 years. Also, it's a genuine crisis of confidence for the character that doesn't involve him cheating on his wife, because they've tried that. I don't think it really worked. I don't think the audience liked it. We didn't really believe it of Mick's character, so I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd much rather see him kind of examining his moral compass doing this than have him have a extramarital affair. Because what we've always known from the start is that Mick doesn't cheat on Linda, and they've messed with that a little bit this year. So I think having him kind of like skirt with illegality is much more interesting. I don't know what it says about my moral code.
I'm not sure, David. We'll leave that there. But it is. He's challenging himself morally, and that will be a big, plot for him and Linda that doesn't involve infidelity. Because Mick is a good guy, but what happens when good guys feel like they're getting left behind, which I really think they're building to Mick. You can really feel that in him, and again, and not even with dialogue, just in the gestures, and just in. I thought Danny Dyer was great up against Patrick Bergin. You just really understood that Mick is really now questioning his own morals. How far would he go? I found that really, really interesting.
The one problem they have... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, you carry on.
The one problem they have, I think, with pre-Watershed gangsterism storylines, though, is that they can't swear, they can't show them shedding blood, so therefore they can threaten to become a little bit anemic. But I think because they've got Patrick Bergin and Danny Dyer and Steve McFadden involved, then this will kind of carry it through. Yeah,
and I think the dialogue, lines like, you're all cream and no sponge, probably as as profane as it can get before the Watershed, but still great fun. I think it's going to be interesting.
Well, join us next week when we both hope to be part of Aidan's gang by then. We'll be presenting, holding shooters and wearing balaclavas. So join us in 7 days' time for another week in Walford.